But while his poor, sweet father, Ronan, is off doing boring adult things, Kieran is immediately ambushed by his cousin, the smug, condescending Lucian. This little twerp waltzes in, dismisses the servants, and immediately starts throwing shade. He calls Ronan, the business genius who funds this entire family, pathetic and a disgrace for being obsessed with money. Oh, the foolish, foolish child. He came to probe and intimidate. What he got was a masterclass in psychological and physical warfare. Our tale begins not with a whimper, but with a bang, or rather, a whole symphony of them. The imperial palace is burning, the sky is weeping ash, and the stairs are simply littered with the most unfashionable accessory of the season, corpses. And standing at the top of it all, our tragic hero Kalen, the Emperor's most loyal, most cursed, and most decidedly doomed, mad dog. And climbing out of the inferno to meet him, none other than his oldest, dearest, and currently most annoyed friend, Theron, the leader of this delightful little rebellion. Silver armor, check. Family crest of a blue wolf, absolutely. A face twisted in anguish because his bestie won't just surrender and go get a drink like a normal person, you bet. Surrender, he pleads. Lay down your weapons. Oh, the drama, the emotion. It's enough to make a statue weep. But our Kalen, he just chuckles. He actually chuckles while standing atop a mountain of the deceased. The audacity, the sheer, unadulterated theatricality of it all. I approve. He tells Theron it's impossible, that a dog must guard its house, but oh, the history between these two. Flashback. A young, stubborn nobleman named Theron approaches a young, deadly guardsman named Kalen. Fight me, he says. I've heard you're the best. It was the start of a beautiful sword-clashing friendship. A slave and a duke's son. How positively Shakespearean. But back to the present bloodbath. Kalen reveals the terrible, fabulous T. The Emperor, that bluest, blooded son of a, didn't just mismanage the treasury, oh no. He made a deal with devils. And our poor Kalen, his soul is shackled by the Emperor's nasty black magic, forcing him to fight. Though it seems the connection is weakening, giving our tragic pup just enough wiggle room for one last choice. He raises his sword. Theron powers up with his gorgeous, noble blue mana. Kalen's is a murky, cursed black. They charge, it's a clash of destinies, a ballet of blades. Oh my. Well, that was anticlimactic. Kalen's sword only grazes Theron's shoulder, but Theron's blade, it went right through Kalen's chest. A direct hit. But wait! Why is Theron so angry? He's screaming! Why did you twist your blade? He's crying. It seems our mad dog deliberately missed. He chose his friend over his master. He chose to be the villain in Theron's heroic story. And as he dies in his best friend's arms, he says this is his first real decision. His path to happiness. And his last words? Nothing really. S.O.B. The sheer, unadulterated emo poetry of it all. What a finale! Curtain call. Throw the roses. But wait. What's this? An encore. Kalen's consciousness doesn't fade. He's thinking. He's feeling warmth. Is it hell? Is he being punished for the Emperor's sins? The injustice? And then, a voice. Master, it's a boy. His vision clears. He's being held by a crying man who is calling him sin. And then he's passed to another man, an older man with a familiar face. It's Theron. But old. Very old. And this old Theron looks down at baby Kalen and says, our youngest grandson, our little Kieran, formerly the mad dog Kalen, is now 10 years old, and he is wasting absolutely 0 of those years being innocent. He is a menace, a precocious, brilliant, vegetable-hating little demon child, and I adore him completely. His poor history tutor, the esteemed Professor Albus, is his first victim. This man came to teach about the glorious Leston family legacy, and instead finds himself being grilled for classified files on himself. Well, his past self. Kieran is forcing this poor scholar to bring him research on the fallen knight. Kalen Latour, the absolute audacity, the nerve, the theatrical genius of it all, and the public perception of his past life. Oh, it's a tragedy worthy of its own play. They've turned him from a cursed guard dog into a steadfast knight. A tragic figure of unwavering loyalty. They've whitewashed his miserable death into a noble sacrifice, and our little Kieran is furious about it. He thinks it's his dear old Grandpa Theron's idea of a posthumous punishment, to forever memorialize him as a stuffy, honorable knight when he just wanted to die and be forgotten. The pettiness, I can feel it radiating off him in waves. But the best part, the absolute best part, he's using his new family's power and influence to dig up his own past. He's a 10-year-old mob boss of historical research. I'll put in a good word with my father, he says. The manipulation, the power plays. He's not just accepting this new life, darlings. He's learning how to work it. And speaking of his father, meet Ronan. Oh, Ronan, you sweet, sweet summer child. You have no idea the primordial force of chaos you have sired. He's just a loving, worried dad, fretting that his son might not awaken the family's magical blue mana and be cast aside like he was. Oh, the dramatic irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. His son isn't just going to awaken the family mana. He's already a master of death and betrayal in child's body. And Kieran? He sees it. He sees his father's insecurity, and, in a moment that is both genuinely sweet and horrifyingly calculated, he tells him, I respect you. He tells him it's good that he's not like his own legendary father, Theron. Because it's true! In his past life, Kaelin saw Ronan as a child and thought he was nothing like the bombastic halo. And he meant it as a compliment. The layers, the history, my heart can't take it. But then, the cherry on top of this delicious, chaotic cake. The awakening ceremony is in 2 weeks. Grandpa Theron is coming home. The man who killed him is returning to see the grandson, who houses the soul of his oldest friend. And what does our little villainous protagonist say? I've got everything planned. He says it with a smile, a sweet, innocent, 10-year-old smile that promises absolute and utter mayhem. He's going to make his grandfather's retirement a living nightmare, and I am here for every single second of it. Let's set the scene, shall we? While dear Papa Ronan is sweating bullets over the upcoming awakening ceremony, terrified his son will be a dud like him. What is our precious little protagonist doing? Is he nervous? Is he practicing his etiquette? No! He's lying on his bed, sighing. And then, whoosh! He's casually summoning the legendary azure mana like it's nothing. The very mana he coveted in his past life, the symbol of his best friend's noble bloodline, is now dancing at his fingertips. And he's had it for 3 years. The absolute nerve, the sheer, unmitigated gall. He's been hiding a divine-level power up since he was 7. And why? Not out of modesty, oh no, because the mana practice methods he knows from his past life are the forbidden, devil-tainted arts of the Imperial Guards. He can't use them without raising a million questions. So what does he do? He gets a mana stone and starts practicing in secret, like a tiny blue-eyed sorcerer. He's not just preparing, he's doing advanced mana cardio while everyone else is still learning to crawl. But his goal? It is chef's kiss. Perfectly petty and glorious. He doesn't want to just reveal himself. That would be too simple, too boring. He wants to get stronger than his grandfather, the legendary hero Theron. And then, right before the old man kicks the bucket, he'll lean in and whisper, It's me. I'm your grandson. Also, your dramatic retelling of my death was tacky, and I hated it. He wants his revenge to be a perfectly timed, emotionally devastating punchline. I have never respected a fictional 10-year-old more in my life. But wait, there's more. His ultimate goal isn't just to annoy his grandpa. He's going to hunt down every single devil that ever made a deal with the Emperor and turn them into cosmic dust. The ambition, the scale. This isn't a second chance at life. It's a personal crusade wrapped in a family drama delivered by a smirking child. Cut to the family train ride to the main estate. And even this is a flex. The train, a marvel of modern magic, was pioneered by his father, Ronan. The black sheep of the family is actually a business and logistics genius who funded the Empire's technological revolution. The irony is so delicious. The son who was cast out for lacking martial talent is the one financially propping up the entire noble structure. And Kieran knows it. He's proud of his dad. It's a genuinely sweet moment amidst all the scheming. But of course it can't last. They arrive at the main house and are greeted by the ancient butler, Gunther, another ghost from Kieran's past. This man used to clean up after Theron's messes, and now he's greeting his master's reincarnated best friend as a child. The layers, the history. And as Papa Ronan gets more and more tense, fearing the judgment and sneers of his family, our little agent of chaos is vibrating with excitement. His internal monologue isn't one of fear, it's of pure, unadulterated opportunity. Unfortunately for Fail, the possibility of their visit to the main family going smoothly was 0. After all, if nothing happened, I'll make sure something does. He says it with his chest. He is going to walk into the lion's den and poke the lions with a stick, because it sounds like a fun Tuesday. He dreams of being the biggest troublemaker the ducal family has ever seen. Bath. Our precious chaos prince, Kieran, has been in the main estate for approximately 5 minutes and has already committed attempted cousin-side. I am so proud. The scene, Azure Ocean Castle, dripping with history and the very azure mana our boy now commands. But while his poor sweet father Ronan is off doing boring adult things, Kieran is immediately ambushed by his cousin, the smug, condescending Lucian. This little twerp waltzes in, dismisses the servants, and immediately starts throwing shade. He calls Ronan, the business genius who funds this entire family, pathetic and a disgrace for being obsessed with money. Oh, the foolish, foolish child. He came to probe and intimidate. What he got was a masterclass in psychological and physical warfare. Kieran doesn't even flinch. He just smiles that terrifying, innocent smile and calls Lucian a budding troublemaker. He's not offended, he's impressed, and also deeply threatened that someone might challenge his rightful title as family menace. And then, the reveal! Lucien, thinking he's so mighty with his awakened mana, suggests a duel. And what does Kieran do? He punches him in the gut before he can finish his sentence. No monologuing, no posturing, just pure, efficient violence. The shock on Lucien's face when he realizes Kieran's fist is glowing with the azure mana he's supposedly here to awaken. Chef's kiss. I've had it for quite a while. He says it so casually. He's been hiding a superpower for years and he reveals it by beating the arrogance out of a 12-year-old. The sheer drama of it. But it gets better. He doesn't stop there. He covers Lucien's mouth so he can't scream and proceeds to give him a one-sided beating, all while delivering a villainous monologue about how he will be the sole troublemaker of the Leston family. He's not just defending his father's honor, he's eliminating the competition. He's literally assigning his cousin a new role. For every troublemaker, there's a noble gentleman. I think you'll fit that role quite well. He's not just hitting him, he's rebranding him. This is next-level bullying. By the time the knights and elders burst in, Lucien is unconscious and frothing at the mouth. The room is in chaos, and Kieran, he's just standing there, blood on his hands, with a smile of pure satisfaction. His father is horrified. His uncle Raphael is furious, grabbing him by the collar. And how does our 10-year-old demon lord respond? He meets his uncle's rage with an unblinking stare and a polite, "Pleased to meet you, uncle." Then he throws Raphael's own hypothetical question right back in his face. The nerve, the absolute breathtaking gall. But the piece de resistance, the final twist. The ancient butler Gunther arrives with a summons. The Duke himself has called for them. The head of the family, the legendary hero Theron, wants to see his youngest grandson and his son immediately. And as Ronan's soul practically leaves his body in terror, Kieran smiles. He takes his father's hand and says, "I'm excited." He is excited to meet the man who killed him in his past life. After just putting that man's other grandson in the medical wing, the stage is set for the most awkward, tense, and potentially explosive family meeting in the history of ever. Shh! Do you hear that, my darlings? That is the sound of a master manipulator at work. The grand reunion we've all been waiting for has finally happened, and it did not disappoint. Our little wolf pup Kieran has just faced down the old alpha, Theron himself, and he didn't just survive, he absolutely thrived. The setting, the tiger's den, Theron's office, a place of immense pressure and gravitas, and our boy walks in, holding his terrified father's hand, without a single drop of fear in his tiny, magnificent body. The old hero is there, all white hair and robust physique, trying to look imposing. But Kieran, he sees right through it. His internal monologue is already snarking. As he got older, he just got better at putting on airs. The disrespect, the sheer, unadulterated audacity. I am living for it. Theron begins the interrogation. Why did he hide his mana? Why did he beat his cousin to a pulp? And Kieran's answers? A masterclass in psychological warfare? He reveals he's had the azure mana for 3 years, with the casualness of someone describing their breakfast. And when asked how he hid it, he doesn't just answer, he counterattacks. He innocently asks why the knights at his branch mansion were so incompetent compared to the main families. He's not just defending himself, he's exposing the family's neglect of his father right to the Duke's face. The nerve! But the true masterpiece is over cousin Lucian. Theron has the bruised and bandaged boy brought in to confirm the story. And what does the terrified Lucien do? He confirms every single word of Kieran's slightly exaggerated story. Why? because he is more terrified of the 10-year-old demon who beat him senseless than he is of the legendary hero. The power dynamic is already shifting. Kieran has established dominance without throwing a single punch in that room. And Theron? He sees it all. He knows his grandson is cunning, audacious, and brilliant. He's not even angry, he's fascinated. He's trying to be stern, but you can see the pride and intrigue sparkling in his eyes. This is exactly the kind of chaotic energy his own youthful self would have adored. Then comes the question of the century. What do you want to be when you grow up? And Kieran, the little genius, doesn't give a direct answer. He says he'll reveal it after the awakening ceremony because only then will he truly be part of the family. It's a subtle, heartbreaking dig at how his branch of the family has been treated, and it hits Theron right in the guilt complex. Its manipulation so smooth it's practically silk. The meeting ends with a postponed punishment and a subtle warning from Theron that his grandfatherly favor only goes so far. But the message is clear. Kieran has passed the test. He's not in trouble. He's on the radar. And the final scene? Theron alone, telling his butler Gunther to send a priest and doctor to check on Kieran because he's worried he might be carrying emotional scars from being too mature. He's worried he's not innocent enough. He's not punishing him. He's trying to therapy the cunning out of him. The irony is so thick you could swim in it. The old hero is officially intrigued, impressed, and already playing favorites. The awakening ceremony is no longer just a test of power. It's Kieran's debutante ball, and the entire family is about to witness a star being born, or a supernova ready to explode. The tension is palpable. The drama is exquisite. We find our brilliant boy lying in bed, actually introspecting. He's reflecting on his reunion with Grandpa Theron, and is utterly shook by the old man's power. Theron's mana isn't just strong, it's a transcendent, oceanic force of nature. Our Kieran, who was a top-tier 8-star knight in his past life, realizes he's now staring up at a mountain he couldn't even see the peak of before. The awe, the respect, the burning competitive fire it lights in his little heart. He's not jealous, he's inspired. He sees a path to power he could never walk as Kaelin, and he is ready to sprint down it. But the best part? His entire disastrous first day was a calculated masterstroke. He didn't just beat up his cousin Lucian out of rage, he did it to capture Theron's attention. And it worked! He's got the old hero fascinated. Now, all he has to do is absolutely ace this ceremony, and he'll have the greatest trainer on the continent wrapped around his little finger, the long-term planning, the audacity. But wait, a tender moment interrupts our scheming. Papa Ronan, smelling slightly of wine, relatable, comes to check on his son. He admits he's always known Kieran was different. Too mature, keeping secrets. But he doesn't press. He just offers his unconditional love and support. I will always stand behind you. S.O.B. The pure, wholesome goodness of this man is the perfect foil to our little agent of chaos. Kieran is genuinely touched. This family's love is the one thing his calculated heart didn't expect and doesn't take for granted. Cut to the next morning. The rumors have spread. The main household is terrified of the new little monster in their midst. Servants scatter like leaves. And Kieran? He tells his father it's all going according to plan. He'd rather be feared than underestimated. He's building a reputation not just for himself, but to protect his father's honor, the complexity. Then, the most awkward family breakfast in history. The uncles are seething, Cousin Lucienne is traumatized, and Aunt Leona is just curious. The tension is so thick you could serve it with a side of eggs. And then Theron drops the bombshell. The awakening ceremony is happening today, this afternoon. No 2-week preparation. He's moving the schedule up because he's too impatient to see what his intriguing grandson will do. And Kieran? He's thrilled. He was hoping for this. He wants to shake this family to its foundations, and he's got the perfect bomb to do it. Himself. The stage is set. The audience is hostile, and the prodigy is ready to perform. The pledge stone awaits. What world will he see? What weapon will he manifest? And just how spectacularly will he show up every single one of his doubting relatives? The anticipation is killing me. It's time for the main event. Don't you dare look away. Oh my. It seems the ancient magic has a truly wicked sense of humor, or perhaps it sees right into the very core of a soul. For the new world, it shows him, is no world at all. It is a memory, a nightmare. It is the blood-soaked staircase of the imperial palace, littered with the corpses of his past life. The very place where Kaelin met his end. The sheer, breathtaking audacity of this test, to force him to walk through his own personal hell. The drama, the tragedy, it's exquisite. But our boy doesn't